Hello and welcome back to the Lich Please podcast. As always, I'm here with Alex, and it is again
Hello.
just the two of us. We've got
Yeah.
a relatively special episode planned today.
Yes. A different episode today. Because we were made aware that people don't know what we're talking about when we talk about our campaign.
Which we have had conversations about. Do we need to explain things more? And then we record a week later, and that's completely gone ahead by the time we get.
Pretty much.
So we're going to do an episode which we have coined ULADORE Unwrapped. We are going to take you from session 1 to session 30, where you guys currently are, and we will talk
sessions.
as much as stuff that we can remember that has happened. The big plot point we will talk in detail about.
Right. Session 1, I guess.
Session 1 started with a relatively big event. The coronation of King Jessamar the 26th of his name.
That's the one.
Of House Nardigar. King of men, king of elves, king of dwarves, king of all.
Dragon Man.
He's got so many more titles that I'm forgetting. It was kind of meant to be kind of a Daenerys Targaryen satire thing. I mean, you probably picked up on that. You wouldn't. I was going to say, you wouldn't have. Other people would have. But yeah. I think Finnan went to the coronation.
Finnan was the first character introduced at the coronation.
Finnan is the only current character that we have that attended the coronation.
Yes.
Because the rest of you didn't.
Yeah, none of us did. Finnan was the first, introduced first at the coronation.
Yeah.
And then Finnan left and went to the Guildhall, I think. Is that what happened straight away? Finnan just left?
Kind of. You and Astra met outside the city coming in.
Yeah. So Finnan was first, and then I think me and Astra were second and third.
Yes,
outside
you were together.
Of the hall trying to come in because they wouldn't let me in because I looked like a bandit. Not on purpose. Stop Goliath racism, guys.
It's not racism. You turned up in battered and beaten armor with like random miscellaneous weapons on your back, like a bag on your shoulder, and was like, "Hi, I want to come into the city, please." And they were like, "Look at your getup, mate."
Yeah. So me and that's how me and Astra met outside the thing. We got in through. God, this is trying to test my memory. I think Astra got us in. I definitely didn't.
Astra did get you in.
Yeah. Then we went to the Guildhall.
You did?
Astra.
Where you met with everyone else?
Yeah, we met everyone else. I think the others were already there.
I kind of arranged it that you all arrived by happenstance at the same moment.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. So we all got there at the same time. But I'm trying to remember what everyone else did before the Guildhall.
Lashara and, well, not going to put them in because they're dead. The other two were at the inn, the unicorn, the prancing unicorn, something like that, some kind of unicorn inn.
Yeah.
And then they left, joined you guys, and then you all kind of arrived at the same time. And then obviously Mike wasn't playing at that point.
Yeah.
Neither
Mike
was Casey there. Or Theon.
Yeah. Yeah, so we all met in the tavern. Yep. Gosh, this is long ago. I'm struggling. Not the
you all met at the Guildhall. You signed up for an adventuring party together.
Yes.
You were told the caravan would leave the next morning.
Yes, I had to go.
You all went.
Give a note to Tuba.
You did. You
Do
did.
I know what the note was? No. Do I still know what the note was? No. I've never.
Did I remember about the note? No.
Honestly, not once have I thought about the note since we left that. Like, after session 1, I've never thought about that note ever again.
Me neither, honestly.
Yeah.
The note will come into play.
I hope so. I don't know what the note's about, but I hope it does. Yeah, delivered a note to Tuba.
Yes. Tuba is the leader of the Legion of Hope, the adventuring guild you are members of, and also the brother of the current leader of House Stormeye, which is the house that you served in Okra, the sort of Minotaur sort of region.
Yes, that's Tuba. Friend of Dan.
Friend of Dan, trainer of Dan.
Yes, for 7 years, bit less than that.
Oh, yeah.
From 18 to he's 25, so like 6 years, whatever. Because a year of traveling and blah 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 and whatnot. Yeah, so we signed up. We got to the caravan, had some convos with people. Before all of that, the guy came into the guild hall. The annoying guy, the tiefling. That's the one. He made it to the guild hall, annoyed us, basically, and then left the guild hall. Yeah, and then we went off to the caravan to do our job, basically. Yeah, talked to some people at the caravan. God, I don't remember any of their names. Annalise was one of them, I think.
Yeah, she was. There was also Elmar.
Yeah.
The blacksmith.
Yeah, the blacksmith.
And then there was some other sort of miscellaneous people that you kind of spoke to whose names I have not remembered because they were irrelevant characters that were just there to kind of talk to you and sort of tell you about where they were going and just kind of random NPCs. Oh no, there was Strong Song. He was the leader of the caravan. He was the merchant Tabaxi.
Yes. I forgot about that. Yeah. I mean,
he would have been an interesting NPC for you to keep alive, but
stuff happens.
Stuff does certainly happen.
Stuff does happen. So we left with the caravan. We went. I don't know how far we actually got. Relatively, probably. Before the first encounter, which was bandits.
I think you'd had a night to sleep, if I remember correctly.
Yes, we had enough time to rest.
You'd travelled for a full day and then a bit of a day.
Yeah. And then our first encounter, which wasn't bandits even, it was goblins. Yeah. There was like a broken tree, stopped our caravan from moving. We got there, goblin ambush. Killed them quite well, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah. Did Dan hit any?
God.
I don't think he did. I think that was a contention point, and that's why Dan was like, we've got to go after the goblin.
He didn't kill any. He might have hit one, but he didn't kill anyone. I can tell you that much. He didn't kill anyone.
Okay.
So yeah, we killed some goblins. One of them ran away, and
one did.
It got tracked, and we decided to leave the caravan and follow the goblins.
You did. A bold move.
Yeah.
If long-term listeners will know, a move that did not pay off, and if you're not, you will soon learn that it did not pay off very well at all. It was really quite a poor idea. Yeah. But you guys got some fun stuff out of it in the end.
Yeah, cool stuff happened, but it was still like a bad move. The thing is, I would like to say this now. I don't think it should be on me because this is my first time playing with you as a DM. I have no idea what you would do. other people knew you for a long time. They should have figured that out. I'm just putting that out there now. They should have realised.
That's a valid point. That's a valid point.
They should have figured it out. I didn't fucking know. I was just like, cool. Clearly he wants us to go after the goblins. Let's go after the goblins. So yeah.
You should always do what you want. Fuck me. Do whatever you want.
Yeah, so we went after the goblins to the first goblin cave, I guess, or hideout, or whatever you want to call it. It was literally a cave in the side of a mountain, I think. Yeah, so that's literally session 1. We killed the goblins and we went towards the cave. We didn't kill them all in session 1, did we? Or did it go to session 2 before we?
I think session 1, yeah, you just did the first encounter and headed towards the cave. And then after the session 2, you did the cave, came back, and I ended it on you seeing the devastation of the caravan.
Yes. So yeah, session 1 went to the cave. Just a goblin cave with a few like NPCs in there. Went in, obviously. Killed some goblins. Did we kill the NPCs?
There was one, I think you did kill him.
One we killed because he kicked someone, I think.
Yes.
The other one we let go. Basically cleared out the goblin place. This is where I started testing the limits of how much I can get away with. With regards to things I can do in combat. This is the very first session that I was like,
it was.
Let's try some things. Cleared the cave, went well, found some stuff, lore related, I think. That is where we found the first Squishy McSquirmish stuff, as I'm going to say.
You found, I think you just had amulets at that point. You just found the amulet Squishy. You hadn't had any letters.
Yeah.
You found the first letter in the next one that you were told to go to.
Yeah. We didn't find any buttons, did we? Was that session?
It was that session where the button trilogy, the Button Chronicles were born in that session.
The birth of the buttons.
That's actually a good way to put it. The birth of the buttons, yeah.
Yeah, session 2, birth of the buttons. Cleared out the cave quite easily. I don't think anyone went down. Maybe. So yeah, cleared that out. Session 2. Left after looting. Got back to. I think that's where Toadstool Tonic started as well.
I think it was Toadstool Tonic at that point.
Because I did search for alcohol, I think, and that was there. So yeah,
that's the session that Dan's merchant instincts were born.
It's the session where the alcohol instincts were born. I can say that much. Left the cave. And we got back to the caravan, and basically everyone was dead.
A few people were alive. Don't be dramatic.
Like 3 people were alive, right?
You had like 4 wagons, 2 full of people, 2 full of stuff.
Yes.
By the end, you still had 2 wagons.
Yes.
Just one of them was full of stuff, and one of them was full of bodies, and then the people walking behind.
Yes.
So maybe you lost 3/4 of the caravan.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, it was awful. We met back up with the caravan, and that was the end of session 2. Everyone, like most people, were dead. We lost stuff. We did a very bad job, basically. So we went back to town. To the city we were taking them to.
You headed on to Phalion.
Phalion, yes. The important city.
You remained for quite a while.
We did. So we went there. This is session 3. We went there, and the fallout of our failures happened. Basically kind of shunned. Wasn't going to get paid. People didn't like us. It was awful.
You were told you had a debt to pay off to the guild now, so you would work for free for the next couple of jobs to pay that debt off, which ended up being 1 job because it was a particularly big job.
Yes. So yeah, we dealt with that fallout at the guild hall. People were reasonably annoyed. I think that's where, or was it in Nightman's guild hall, where the repeat NPCs came in? Elsa and Sildar.
Oh, the repeat NPCs happened in Nightman, but they aren't two-story. So Sildar and Elsa are twins that are you guys' adventuring consultants.
Yes.
So if you have questions, you can contact them. Yes. And it's just a way for you guys to have, I guess for me, if you require an idea of what to do, I can be like, well, in world, this is an idea. This is what you can do, which you've not needed.
Yeah.
I also had an idea of it to serve as like a lore guide. If you could, you could convince Sildar to tell you stuff, which with you, again, has not been needed.
Yeah, not needed. But yeah.
So Sildar just exists and is ready to help if you need him.
Pretty much.
Done. You missed out Tyr joining when you went to the guild.
Yes. He did join in session 3. So yeah, we made it to the guild. Bless you.
Thank you.
We got there. I think so. We lost the party member who started, and I think that's just how it is.
It happens.
Yeah. So Tyr came. We got into the guild hall. We were like, we're going to give you guys a new party member. It's like, okay, cool. Mr. 6'5" half elf paladin.
Pale and kind of weird.
Yes, and half elf was there.
No, not a half elf.
A double
elf.
Yes.
Yeah, come on, Alex.
My bad. Yeah, so we got there, got introduced to Tyr. I arm wrestled him. I lost. Tradition. Just regular Dan happenings. Bullied the small person who was annoying me, which has happened a few times.
Yeah.
Tend to do that.
You do.
Everyone spoke to Tyr. It was cool. He was going to get paid for the next job, obviously, because he didn't lead to the death of things. And then we got approached by the Lord of the place.
You were.
The Lord of the place.
It was Finnan's uncle.
Lord
Arabella.
That's the one. And he wanted us to go kill this goblin camp that that was nearby, because people were there and people died there and it was a problem, and he wanted us to do it. And he would pay us because it wasn't a guild thing. I think he said he'd pay us or whatever, or just something.
So the job wasn't from him. It was like handed down to him from his boss. So he kind of like subcontracted it out to you guys. So the payment won't be from Lord Arabella, but from like I forget the name of the house. The principal house of the region that you're in, the Elven region. The Lord of Elves is what his title is.
Ah, yes. So yeah, we got that job offer. I think we stayed the night in the tavern.
You were given free lodging in the tavern for as long as you needed by the Lord.
Yes, by the Lord. So I went to the tavern, met an NPC who I think someone related to him.
Daughter and grandchild.
That's the one. His daughter and grandchild were killed in the caravan.
Who I remember vividly describing to you guys as like this little dwarven girl was like running up like with the carriage, and like she was climbing over it, and you were like, "Oh, that's so cute." Everyone was like, "That's amazing," and then you came back and
yeah. So yeah, we met him. Very poor interaction, obviously.
People pushed that interaction to a point. They're no longer in the party or in the campaign. They pushed interaction with that poor man who I was trying to make it evidently clear wanted nothing to do with you guys.
Yeah. So that went awful. Got our food. I think we had the rats for the first time.
The ratwurst and the rat stuff, yes.
Yes. We had rats for the first time, and then we just went to sleep.
And Dragon's Breath for the first time.
Oh, was that Dragon's Breath? Okay, yeah. Dragon's Breath, which knocked basically everyone out from shotting it.
Yeah,
That's
pretty
much.
much.
It does.
It's a very, very strong alcohol, kind of like burns your throat and it's going down.
Yeah, very strong. And then we we went to sleep and woke up and left to kill the goblins for session 4, I believe.
Something like that. The timeline of sessions might be a bit off, but in terms of what happened, pretty on track.
This is just the rough timeline. So
what?
Yeah.
You then immediately went off to hunt some goblins. You had, at this point, I believe, been given your quest in the town of Ewan, but you were like, we'll do this, rest, and head off.
Yes.
And you wanted to hit the Stonehenge place on your way. So you planned a route that would hit everything you needed to do.
Yeah.
So you headed to the goblin camp. This, I think, was probably your first hard fight.
Yes.
Where it was like you guys somehow it was a rough fight because it was 3 goblins, a bugbear, and 2 direwolves.
Yeah. It was the toughest fight we had by that point.
But it was. I mean, you guys dealt with it pretty easily.
Yeah,
mobbed certain people first, and then
pretty much.
And Astra's uncanny ability to constantly hit nat 20s.
Yeah, honestly, so far I think Astra's rolls through then was like the best.
Yes.
Yeah. So cleared that. That was when we got some squishy McSquirmish lore, I think.
It was. That was when I thought I would be like, yes, I'm going to give them a nice little goblin letter. They're going to have to go and translate it. It's going to be like a mystery for them to work out. And Finnan goes, oh, I speak goblin. And I'm like, oh, fuck. I completely forgot that it was one of the languages that he'd been taught in like Lord School or something, like one of his electives. And I was like, damn, yeah, I gave him the translation. But I think in a way that worked out better because it immediately got you guys interested, because you then went to you completed that goblin camp, fine, moved on. You went to Stonehenge, where you immediately got another bit of lore that I think really sort of kick-started things off.
Did we not loot some chests and stuff first and take them back to Falion?
Oh, yeah, you found chests marked that were supplies that were being stolen.
Yeah. Took it back to Falion, got some money. I had some more Toastal Tonic.
Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah. So we went back to Falion after the Goblin camp, did some chest stuff, got some loot. This is when I think I sold the wine for the first time. The Toastal Tonic. We met Bertram.
I think so.
As well.
We did meet Bertram. I think we should talk about Bertram.
Yeah, the button.
You tell me about Bertram. What did you think of Bertram?
He's an interesting.
What is Bertram? Can you define Bertram?
I feel like it's kind of like Doctor Strange vibes. It's the way I'd go with Bertram. Just a bit of a weird fellow.
Really? You'd give him that much intelligence?
Not as smart. No, not as smart. No, God no. But he's a bit mysterious. He's a bit weird. So yeah, we met.
A bit weird. He poured you like a glass of buttons and was like, "Hey, I'll have a drink."
Yeah, yeah, that did happen. We had some convos. He told us about the order of the buttons. I think that's what it's called.
The Grand Order of the Arcane Button.
That's the one. Talked about that. He gave us a separate quest, like a side quest to help with, where he wants us to find these special buttons that can teleport us to different realms.
What's the most important fact about them?
They're one-time use that you can't return. So
yeah, they'll get you there. They won't get you back.
Yes, give them straight to him, basically, and don't use them. Which we haven't found any yet. It's fine by me. I don't plan on going to another realm, so totally
not
fine.
The Feywild, not the Shallow Dark.
Nope, I'm fine. Yeah, so we spoke to Bertram. He gave us some button beer, which tasted nice, and told us about a language, Buttonish, in which we are still learning. 26
Congratulations,
sessions.
Wednesday.
I've been ROM roll off for like 10 sessions.
I know.
It's infuriating. So yeah, we left with the extra side quest. I think no one had bought any gear or anything yet, like extra. So we all still we all still base, and then we just went to the journey to Yuan, not Yuan, Yuan. Yeah.
No, you're forgetting something. Your favorite, Snackasy.
Oh God, I totally forgot about Naomi and Juliet.
I think some people were missing for this session, so I was like, "Oh, I'll run a nice beach style session." It was like a spa. You were going to go and have fun, and then I made up some things of I'd looked online for some mystical fantasy ingredients and face masks and things, and some of them were fairy wings, and I'm just reading out the ingredients to you guys in character, and you were going, that's fucked up. And then the gnomes that were held in rooms with the doorknob just slightly too high that they couldn't reach them, and then you were like, well, let's break the gnomes out.
Yeah, it was like a whole gnome trafficking situation, I guess.
It wasn't. They were paid.
Oh, they were paid, yeah. Gosh, that's how we thought it was. We thought it was a gnome trafficking situation, I think. So we went to free them, and then we basically gave them the building to run. Romeo and Juliet.
And they opened a foot spa.
Yeah, it was cool.
And you've not been back to visit them?
No, we haven't.
You were in Thalia not long ago.
Yeah.
I think it was you. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, you've not been to Thalia in ages.
We went to Thalia. We went after Ewan, I think, to do armor stuff, and then we just basically left straight away.
You did. I remember. Yeah.
Yeah. So
you were there very briefly. Yeah.
Yeah. So we left Thalion, and made our way to Ewan for the Slard quest. But before that, we hit some goblins along the way. No,
you hit the first ruin.
We hit Stonehenge.
Stonehenge.
It's not actually Stonehenge. It's a tower, but it looked like Stonehenge on the map. So
no. Before that,
is it?
Before that, you had the...
Oh, God, it's that one. Okay, yes.
The bit I thought you'd remember most.
Yeah. So we went to the first ruins, an underground crypt type thing. And that is where we found the first prophecy.
Yes.
Yes.
First that you knew altogether, the second one overall.
Yes, second one overall. First, we all knew as a group. Found that prophecy.
I'll quickly explain this because we didn't mention it at the time because Alex wasn't privy to it. Session 1, one of the characters was given a sort of vision in which they were read this prophecy to... basically, it kind of went... a second star will fall on the first one. You need to ensure that the Raven Queen rises. With her, she'll bring destruction and death and everything, and all of this.
Yeah.
So you've then found a counter prophecy.
Yeah. Which only two of them basically knew as a counter prophecy. Yeah. So we thought it was an actual prophecy, and we were like, cool. A bunch of spooky stuff happened, and we found that prophecy and killed some things and left, basically.
And that was an introduction to the first. I would say I have done a Game of Thrones in where I have killed off the most pivotal character, the most important character for this little plot quest thousands of years ago.
Yes. The important character is dead for this.
King Nathaniel.
King Nathaniel, yeah.
Having him alive would make your lives
basically
a lot easier.
Yeah, and literally, so straight after the prophecy is when I lore dived. That's the first time I properly lore dived. So yeah, I if you tested me on lore before that, which luckily we never had the opportunity to be tested on lore before that, the most lore diving I'd done was probably like Okra and the Dawn, like the Ages, Dawn Age, second, third, fourth.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Because they are relatively confusing.
Yeah, so that is when I lore dived deep for the first time, and just kept doing it basically to memorize things after the prophecy because I wanted to figure it out. Is the whole reason I lore dived. Yeah, so we left. We left there, and then we hit a goblin place, I think. And then Ewan. How many goblin? No, we've only done.
You did the tower, which was our first Tailspire combat session.
Was the tower was after the Slards, though, wasn't it?
Oh, the tower was after the Slards. Correct. No, you're right.
Was there a goblin before the Slards?
I don't think that. Yes, there was. Yeah, because it was right outside Ewan, and you decided to do that first before going into town.
Yes.
And found more letters.
More letters.
Talking about the arrival.
Yes. Talking about the arrival.
You know what the arrival is now at this point?
I know. I'm quite sure. To be honest, never really gets talked about in the conspiracy theory group chat. I just kind of assume everyone knows what it is.
Wonderful. Excellent. Yeah. Great. That's good.
Yeah, it's not like it's awfully complicated.
No, that bit's quite clear.
Yeah.
Everything else is quite...
Yeah. So then we left that, we went to Ewan, and this is the Slard one. So we spent 2 weeks in Ewan. 2 in-game weeks.
Yeah. 2 in-game weeks.
5-6 sessions, maybe.
I would say a sizable chunk of the campaign was centered in and around Ewan. That's so far.
Yeah. So I went to Ewan, got there, told them we were from the guild. Actually, did we?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, we told the main people we were from the guild, and then stayed at lodgings. Had a look around town at the start. First thing we did, I think, look around town. To see just like about the Slards and stuff, and we didn't know there were Slards at the time.
You just know the things were popping from people's chests and people were dying.
Yes. So we looked around, went to many establishments. We went to a merchant shop,
Brambles,
hall,
Gwendolyn,
tavern, obviously,
the Barrel Belly,
and then we went to a brothel.
Which I would like to state, for the record, I did not originally plan to exist in town, but when the question is asked and people are like, there's probably a brothel here, let's ask and find it. There was one, but I didn't want to make it a straight brothel because that's boring, and I'm not boring. It had to be a diversification. So it was a circus and a brothel.
Yes.
Different sides. Left for the brothel, right for the circus.
Yeah. I don't think Dan went to that. No, he did.
I don't think Dan did either. I think Dan went when you'd arranged a meeting with Sarah.
Yes.
Because the only 2 people that didn't go were Lashara and Tyr, who went to pray.
Yes. And then Dan left.
But that was the meeting that was conducted in the circus side of things, rather than the brothel side.
Yeah. Went there, had some conversations about it. Found out that one of the employees' customers had died. I think. Yes. Spoke to that employee. Tried to figure some things out. Went to the library, I think.
You did?
Did some library research.
To Amrak, the town doctor.
Yes, went to Amrak, Dr. Man.
He told you about it. He told you there were Slards.
he told us they were Slards. We went to the library to search about Slards and stuff. And then I don't remember how we figured this out. I do. When we went to Grumbles' place, I think the Shara casted Detect Poison and Magic. Something like that. Not magic.
Poison and Disease.
Poison and Disease, that's the one. And we found out there was poison somewhere.
He was poisonous.
Yes, and that happened to be the Slard eggs we discovered after some stealing and stuff. So, yeah, so we lured him out to speak to him, to collect some things. Well, he lured us out, basically. But we wanted it as a distraction. Two of the others stayed behind to loot the shop, to find like the Slard eggs and stuff and whatnot. And then in the forest, he turned into a Slard with the rest of us there. And this is where he had been taking the people to turn into Slards with the tadpoles and the eggs. And we obliterated him. We destroyed the man because of Tyr.
This is the famous Tyr fight that I think we've spoken about a couple of times.
Yes, this is the immaculate Tyr fight where he used compelled duel on this Slard, in which the Slard is forced to fight him, and we will just batter him whilst Tyr. Yeah, whilst Tyr just held the damage. And I don't think Tyr really got hit that much because the Slard was like struggling and tied down. I think someone used.
I think Tyr then grappled him.
Yeah. Basically,
he was still trying to fight Tyr, and then you go just like hitting him because he was prone. Yeah,
basically the man, the Slard struggled. Killed him, killed off the tadpoles. Went well. Went back to Amrak to tell him about the Slard, and went, there's probably more Slards. And then we devised a plan to hold a concert with Finn performing, and we would scan people to find out if they were Slards. Because obviously we couldn't let people know we were searching for Slards, so we just held a concert, scanned the people, and basically if we found out they were Slard, kill them. Basically.
Pretty much.
Yeah, so we've got
just to quickly interject there, because Friday recently did this. This part. They worked out that Grumbles was a Slard on the way out of town as they were following him out and attacked him in town. They were then convinced that Ambrak was also a Slard. Convinced. Walked into his thing. Some of them wanted to talk to him, try and figure it out first, do some checks. Someone disagreed and immediately threw an axe at Amrak. Amrak, who I shit you not was on 1 hit point, then threw a level, like a chromatic orb at them. Because he was like, nah, fuck this, worm. Because he's a wizard. Amrak's a wizard.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's made clear. They're scholars. They're wizards.
Yeah, damn. Wow. That's one way to do it. Yeah. So
I was shocked. I was like, you can't. He's like a little. He's like, for those that don't know, Amrak is he's a Loxodon. He's like a little old man. He's got like a huge beard. He doesn't hear too well, and he trumpets because he gets scared sometimes.
Yes, the trumpeting. Yes. But yeah, so
that's every group held some kind of concert or some kind of event.
Yes, via art inspiration. You're welcome, guys. Yeah, so we held a concert, scanned everyone, found who the Slards were, and had a big fight, which went really well. I don't think anyone really were close to dying.
No, everyone was pretty okay.
Yeah.
Some people it got rough for some people, because most of you were in like some people decided to hide on a roof and do nothing all session. But some people were in the fray, in the combat, getting stuff done. But yeah, no, it went well.
It went very well.
There were 6 Slards. You also had the archers on the roof, who, if they rolled above a 15, could do 30 points of damage a turn. I think that helped you guys out. in just making things like it was still a really tough fight, and it still required you guys to think about what you were doing.
Yeah, it was difficult.
But no, you did really well.
Yeah, but we cleared for him, and then our debt got cleared because it was a big thing. So they cleared our debt from the guild. Obviously, Tyr got paid because Tyr wasn't in debt. And then I think after a rest, we left to go to the tower.
The tower, which was our first Tailspire session,
Yes, first Tailspire session, which is
very
incredible. Good. Yeah. So we got to the tower for the first session, and it was full of. Wait. I don't think it was our first Tailspire session.
No, it definitely was.
Our first, was it not the Slard fight? Because of the big Slard fight, because that's when we could.
Oh yeah, you're right. So because the tower was definitely our first Slard session, Tailspire session, I think. No, it wasn't. No, you're right. It wasn't.
Yeah, I think it was the Slard fight.
Yeah, no. Now I think about it, I've been saying that so much, but I'm just wrong.
It was the big. Yeah. The big Slard fight was our first one.
Big Slard fight was our first one.
Yeah, and then the tower one was our second. So we got to the tower. There's a necromancer person at the back and a bunch of skeletons, basically.
Do you remember what mark he had on his back?
It's not
one of the Chaos creatures. No, it was Marco Vorogos.
That's the one?
One of the Chaos creatures.
Oh, yes. So we went to the tower. This one was difficult, and it was a 6-hour session, bear in mind.
It was long, and none of us really noticed, so you can sort of discern from that how like high concentration and high stress it was for some people.
Yeah. So we got there, and we started fighting basically straight away. Started at the front, it was going well, just killing skeletons. Walked up them stairs, and people started to get battered. That man at the back was a sniper with those spells. He was hitting everybody. I think Astra went down. Tyr went down. I think Lila went down.
Yeah.
Finnan, I don't know. Lashara, no, because Lashara's underground. Didn't partake in the fight.
Dan didn't go down, did he?
Dan didn't. He got very close. So I remember doing the maths after the session. Dan took the second most amount of damage, which is understandable because he has like the most health and joint highest AC. But I don't. Basically, Dan doesn't go down often because he's got second wind and stone's endurance. Basically, I can negate and get health back a lot, so it's helpful.
And I guess to an extent, Action Surge as well.
Yeah, even Action Surge helps just for like things in like getting to people and killing people quick enough that I don't take damage. So yeah, like Dan doesn't go down often. He takes it. He gets hit a lot. Like just to clear, he gets hit a lot.
Like you are all the way up front.
Yes.
And while I sometimes want to hit someone else, like realistically, it makes very little sense for them to be like, "Oh, there's a huge Goliath right in front of me. I'm going to fire a spell at the guy who's shooting me with a crossbow over there."
Yeah. So yeah, but I tend to not go down. I got very close to that session. I think the lowest I was on like 4 HP. But healing potions and whatever kept me fine. Very interesting combat. Very creative. Killed people.
I think it definitely forced you guys, with him being at the back and firing spells, to really think about where you were positioning yourself with the walls and stuff.
Yeah, it's actually the reason that I rugby tackled that skeleton to the bottom floor so that I could go upstairs, like underneath, and avoid getting hit. Because that man was using lightning and things and electricity, and I would have been absolutely cooked if I got hit by one of them spells. Like I would have just died. So yeah.
Flat dead.
Yeah, because metal armor is not the way to do things. when electricity is involved. So I wanted to not get hit, and I just dropped the skeleton down, crushed him, and went up, basically. Went underneath and then went up the stairs. Got to the guy at the top. Now, the reason combat went so long, not just like, obviously, there was a lot of things to kill, and we wanted to kill him, but it took me so long to finish off this guy. It took ages, because I was the only person up there by that point, whilst everyone else cleared off the skeletons on the roofs in the towers.
Yes.
I made it to the guy, and it just took me so long to roll a dice to hit him. Like, it's so long.
His AC wasn't dramatically high either.
No, it wasn't. My rolls were just sucky. Like, my rolls were so bad. It got to the point that all the skeletons got cleared, and Astra had enough time to get all the way up to me, and next to me. Astra and Lashara, one of them. Right before I killed him.
Because monk.
Yeah, right before I killed him. Like, one hit before. Genuinely, it was really bad. I was like on low health for ages, but he didn't hit me either, so it was just a bunch of misses. And then we killed that necromancer, grabbed some loot. That was about, I say grab some loot, the loot was already grabbed from before.
It was.
Yes.
During the fight by someone.
Yeah. Went to set up camp next to the tower for long rest and stuff. This is into the next session now, because obviously after 6 hours of combat, we went straight to sleep. Duh. Went to set up camp outside. Had talked to some people, had some convos. This is where the double elf
bonding
came. Yeah,
this session was double elf session.
This is the spawn of double elf. I don't know how the conversation came up. I do. That's a lie. They were talking about something. People were being suspicious of each other, and then Tyr went to go toilet, like as character. And
it was getting intense. I think conversations were getting intense.
Yes, so Tyr went to in character go for a piss. Dan joined him, and then we were talking about, because they were talking about like their backgrounds and what races they were, like, because everyone was suspicious of each other, basically. And then Dan, what did I say? I was talking to Tyr, and I was like,
if they're a half elf and I'm bigger than them, does that make me a double elf?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, and then so I went, does that make me a normal elf? Because obviously they're half elves. Tyr agreed, and then Lila said she was a regular elf, and I was double her height. So I was like, that makes me and Tyr double elves, and Tyr just agreed outright. And that's where that session was the start of the double elf stuff. And the start of Tyr and Dan's amazing friendship.
Yes.
Yes. So that session ended, and we headed back to... Where did we go? I'm going to say we went back to Falion. Because I wanted...
I think you did. You did.
You
headed back. You weren't there long. You sold some stuff.
Yeah.
So pretty much left
there was
very
that
quickly.
Sword. There was the sword from the Necromancer.
Oh, the Cursed Blade.
The Cursed Blade. And I had picked up in Ewan off a Slard or off something, half-plate armor, something. I can't remember where I picked it up, but I picked it up.
Yeah, you got it off somewhere.
Yeah. And Tyr got a new shield, so his AC was 19. I was like, yeah, let's go back to Falion so I can get new armor, because I want a 19 AC. Like, I've got the half-plate armor, I just need it to be resized to get my 19 AC. Went back to Falion.
You're still getting hit a lot.
Yeah, like, I don't think it's made much of a difference when I really think about it. It's maybe I get hit less, like once per 10 hits or something. Like 1 per 10 attacks, do I get hit less, probably? Which, like, is decent.
I think it's because you're fighting things with like a +7.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like it's kind of irrelevant at that point. Because if I roll like a 15, you're getting hit.
Yeah, basically. So we went back to Falion. And we did all the armor stuff, sorted that all out, picked up a new quest,
I think first, back in when you were having your campfire session, you were told by Lila about the prophecy that she received.
I thought it was after she passed out, which was back at Thalion, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it happened at the campfire after you'd left Thalion.
Yeah, so...
Because that was Ewan. You passed out in Ewan at the celebration of you defeating the Slards.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yes.
So I also forgot that, but you had the conversation at the campfire where she revealed that about her conflicting prophecy with yours.
Yes. So then we had two prophecies at this point. Didn't know which one to believe. So we went back to Thalion, did all the armor stuff, took up a new quest, which is to kill, which we're doing right now, this quest.
To quell some angry spirits, sort of forest guardians and stuff.
Yes. And then we headed out for a new crypt thing.
Yes, a new crypt thing.
This is and this is a very big one. This crypt stuff.
This was a huge session lore-wise.
Yes. So we made it to this crypt, and we got there, and it was just a few pillars, and a statue. That was it.
And weighing scales.
Yes, and weighing scales, and there was a note in the weighing scales, I think, or on the statue, or somewhere.
Or a plaque or something. Yeah.
A plaque, yeah. And it had a little riddle thing. I figured it out. It was very easy. Got fire, water, earth, and air. Put it in the scales, 2 in each. Scales. It opened.
It was like balance is all, or something. The riddle was.
Yeah.
There were the elemental symbols on the towers, so you just immediately went, "Oh well, this is obvious."
Yeah. Opened the scales, and there was a whole underground crypt again. Kind of crypt, a burial place. So yeah, I guess it's crypt. Went downstairs. There were some things in a room, but not much in the first room. So we went into the second room after a few divine senses and detects good and evil and whatnot. And the second room had a clay golem.
Clay gladiator.
Clay gladiator, that's the one.
But essentially a clay golem. I think it was just reskinned to be a little cooler.
Yeah, and we got absolutely battered by this thing. Me and Tyr ran in with Astra.
This thing, people who are listening at home, did 3 attacks with a spear and a shield bash.
Yes.
Which I ended up removing because I got rid of the shield bash. I kept the 3 attack because that's fun. Because it put its AC too high and it was just an extra attack that I thought was just too much damage.
Yeah. So we went in, me and Tyr and Astra were hitting it. Astra put her hand up him, literally, fist inside the golem. I think Tyr did the same.
I think it got stuck.
Yes. Astra got stuck. Tyr got hit a lot, and then Tyr got downed. And then I got hit a lot, and I got downed. Then Tyr got brought back up from Finnan, I think, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah, so Tyr got brought back up. I was still down, and this is the session in which I rolled a natural on the death saving throw after a succeed. So I was about 1 turn away from probably dying.
From death.
Yeah, and luckily the thing got killed.
It would have been permanent because no one had...
Yeah, no one had Revivify. Yeah, so I would have just died. Luckily the golem got killed, and I got picked up just in time. Yeah, it was close. Because I'm pretty sure I rolled a death saving throw just to see what I would get, and I'm pretty sure I failed. So I just would have died.
I think you did fail. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we checked out this room, which was like a bedroom. Had some books, and this is where all the lore came in, like most of it. All of my hours of deep.
This, I think, could be the bit that's difficult to explain.
Yeah, a little bit. So let's see. In sections.
So if you don't understand this bit, don't feel too bad, because I think that some of you guys kind of struggled to get exactly what was happening while you were there.
Yes. So I've got to remember this now. This is the thing with not taking notes. You have to remember everything.
I remember it. So if you get stuck, I can fill in blanks.
So we started by searching the room, obviously. There was stuff. I don't think insanely good stuff. There was just stuff. Then we went to the books. And I wanted to search for a bunch of books. Dan can't read Elvish, so he had to have Astra walk along with him and read it for him, basically.
Yeah. But you pretty much worked out there with the books. The dates were on the spine for the books.
Yes. The dates are on the spine, and it went from the Second Age to the start of the Fourth Age, is what I want to say.
It was a long time. I can't remember the exact time span, but I wanted to really express how far this guy could see into the future.
So, for context, this is King Nathaniel's grave thing, basically, like his crypt. And all of his books and prophecies were written here, like the stuff he predicted and whatnot. And you can figure that out because he died Third Age, I think, and the books were written long past that.
No, he died in the Second Age.
He died in the Second Age, and all the books were written past that. So we were reading some books. We read the most recent book, which is where we got the third prophecy.
About the siblings prophecy.
Yes.
Which told you that you needed to beware of the siblings, for their chaotic rise will spell blah, blah, blah.
Yes. We read some other books about Jasimirs, I think. Some of the Jasimirs. Not Jasimirs, Nartigars.
Yes, you found that big book.
Yes. About
which you took, I think, right? Dan has that book.
I think so, yeah. It just basically talks about all of them in rough detail.
A chronicle of some of the kings, yeah.
Yeah, which is where I figured out that all of these were accurate because all of the stuff in the lore was basically the same as that. So they were accurate, and he was good at this. Some other random books which were just had stuff in. Basically, the third prophecy is the most important book that we reread in there.
Which I don't know if you remember this bit of lore, but Nathaniel only wrote one prophecy.
Yes.
Which is the siblings one that you now have, and the rest were sort of warped by other people who wanted to, I guess, in later years, were worried about certain things, so began to change prophecies to suit their need and be like, I think this is what people need to be wary of. This is what I'm changing the prophecy to.
Yeah, basically. So this one's probably the most accurate one so far out of the three we've got. It's likely to be true. Likely, I'm still pessimistic.
He told you it was real.
Yeah, I know. Still pessimistic. He can tell us all I want. You can be wrong. Okay. You can just be inaccurate. So I'm 85% sure that this is likely to be the correct prophecy, right? But it's good to be cautious. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. We got that prophecy and we left, and that was the end of that session. Rested at the campfire, had some talks about the prophecies, and went into a new session. Into the next session next week, obviously, which we went into the room next door, which was full of spiders.
It was,
and Tyr is incredibly scared of spiders. He had to roll to not be frightened, like Shadowheart and Baldur's Gate. He natural 20'd,
which he asked for. I didn't.
Yeah.
Put this on him. He was like, I want to do this, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, very understandable.
Yeah,
and he natural 20'd, so he was fine, basically.
Yeah, he was for that fight.
Yeah, and then we just beat the shit out of these spiders. I think. I don't think they really put up much of a fight. I think they actually got battered, to my memory. Had a search around that room. There wasn't really much there.
There wasn't.
No.
So you headed out?
Yeah, we left. We rested.
Skeletons?
Skeletons?
You fought skeletons.
Yes. Wait, before we
beat
left?
them relatively easily. There was no. You had your so you beat the skeleton. You had a short rest. Went in, fought the skeletons. There was no real issue, and then you went into the next room where the armor.
Yes.
Because Dan immediately walked up and went, "Oh, I want to use this seeing orb," and put blood in it, and the armor came alive and was like, "No, the king has forbade anyone to use this." You beat that up.
Yes.
You immediately tried again with another one. Another armor came alive.
Yeah.
You eventually managed to put that down. Very simple. Yeah, I don't think you struggled.
Yeah. So I remember I had a problem with this because I wanted to try something really badly, but I can't remember what I wanted to try. But I wanted to try something, and then the thing just got broken. Everyone decided to just break it, and I was like, "Oh fuck, we could have done something." I can't remember what it was now. I did want to try something really big that I thought would work, which is why I kept putting my blood into the fucking bowl.
Yeah, but it kept bringing armor alive.
Yeah. So that we just destroyed the thing. Oh well, I guess. Yeah, and then we called the session there, and I think that's when we had a special guest the next session. I think.
Yes.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes, from a previous campaign for you guys.
Yep. Came back, joined us for one. They live in New Zealand, so it's very difficult to join in, but they had the morning off work and decided to wake up at 5 a.m. to join us, which you have to give some credit for.
Yeah, absolutely insane. Fair enough. Yeah, respectable. So a special guest. We went through and did some stuff again, I think.
You went and then you reached the golden doors.
The golden doors.
So I think the next big notable thing that happened.
Yeah. We opened the doors and we went into the... there was a tomb. I think it was a tomb. I think a coffin or something. Yes.
The tomb.
And that was Nathaniel's, and his ghost was there. Basically,
he was.
His spirit, his ghost, his whatever. Yeah, so we got there, and we went to speak to him, basically. But before we spoke to him, one of our members tried to steal some fake gold that was there. Nearly got caught. Nearly got us killed.
Yeah. It would have been rough. It would have been a difficult fight. I think what would have annoyed you more is if I told you after that you would have got a bunch of lore from him. I think that would have made you angrier.
I knew I would have got lore from him. That's why I wanted to talk to him. When I was sitting there, and like, yeah, let's talk to him. And then people were like robbing things. Like, fuck, we're not going to be able to talk to him. Like, I know I've been a player in Joanne's campaign long enough to know that if we fight him, we're never talking to him, and I'm not finding out this really important lore I want to know.
Yeah.
So yeah, luckily the rolls were good and we got away with it. All for fake gold, lead painted in gold.
Yep.
But yeah, so we had a talk with Nathaniel and we asked him a few questions. I think it was 5 we got.
You got 5 questions.
Do I remember the questions? No. There was one about him being accurate.
Yes, and he told you that yours was accurate. There was some he couldn't answer.
Yes.
Mainly because I didn't want to give you that information yet as a DM. But, cosmic laws forbade him from answering.
We asked who the siblings were, and he said, no, but I can tell you that one of you guys might have met them.
I think I said some or all of you have met some or all of them.
Yes.
Which really doesn't help that much.
No, but then from that, like, everyone thought they figured out who the siblings were. Yeah.
Were any of you right?
No. God no, I was very skeptical. I was still baffled from that comment. What else was there? What else did we ask? I think I asked the most questions, which is the thing. I
don't think anything else was majorly sort of groundbreaking apart from that.
I asked about one of the Nartigars. I can't remember what I asked, but I asked something. And yeah, that was it. And then he disappeared. We had a look around, look at some of the gold and bloody blah and whatever in his tomb, and we left. And we just,
you did?
Yeah. We walked out the tomb, and went to rest, basically. I think that was about 2 months ago, a month and a half.
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
They all kind of blend into one in my mind. I don't know what. You did something. Because then I want to say that we had 2 character deaths next, but that feels more recent. But I think it's correct.
No, so we spoke to God first. We had a session.
Oh, you did. You spoke to some gods.
We spoke to some gods. So before all that, it was we got out and we set up camp where we went to where we had our camp set up, and I was trying to be forced into persuading Astra to give us backstory about her life.
Which didn't happen for out of character reasons, but we can ignore that.
Yeah.
And then the Rat Man came.
The Rat Man came.
Squeak Strummer.
Squeak Strummer came. Didn't like him.
Nobody liked Squeak Strummer.
Nobody liked him. Basically told him to fuck off. He was on his way to the king because he was meant to be his jester or something, advisor.
He was. Yeah. No, simply jester.
Yeah, we had not cared. We told him to leave, basically. He left. And then we spoke to gods. So Lila and Lashara, who had been speaking to gods, spoke to Orifeli, god of destruction, and told him to speak to me, in which I was allowed to ask 2 things, I think.
You were.
And now, when I got told this, out of character, I knew what I wanted to ask. In character, I knew what Dan had to ask. So I was burning with pain on the inside. Is basically
what did you want to ask?
Let's see. What did I want to ask? It's definitely something to do with King Nathaniel and the crypts, I think.
Okay.
Like A, is there more crypt locations?
That just happened.
Yeah, if there's more crypt locations, or if he's notoriously like very accurate. And B was going to be something related to the Chaos Gods and like their creation and future creations and blah blah whatever. What I actually asked was, is the Raven Queen real, like a real god or goddess? And what the second thing I asked?
I think the second one was about is his prophecies accurate?
No, I asked a stupid question, I think.
I don't remember. Okay.
I think that's how we led to the conversation of the volcano, because I asked a stupid question.
Maybe. Have you killed anyone or something like that? It must
something stupid. Yeah, something that didn't help me. And then Orifeli showed me his powers, and then I was like, "Oh, can you destroy that volcano?" And I killed 3,542 people. It's a number that lives in my head vicariously.
That number.
Yeah. Yeah. I got out of that, and then Finnan spoke to Orifeli as well.
Yes. Yeah.
Tyr went into his tent and prayed. Don't know what happened.
He went into his tent and prayed.
I can't remember.
You also spoke to Elaz. Is that when you got Elaz?
No, that wasn't the Elaz session. So we'd spoken to Orifeli, and then I was like, okay, cool, I believe in praying now, so I prayed a bit. This is like around the time when I started praying to gods. And then after all of that stuff, I think it was like the end of the session.
It was.
Session ended, and next session we woke up. Two characters were dead. Because of stuff.
Difference of opinion, not relevant to this conversation.
Basically, stuff happened, and two characters were dead. Lila and Ashara died. So
and we welcomed the wonderful Fionn to our party.
Yes, we added Fionn, and we got Eleni. I think that's Eleni.
Eleni, yeah.
Yeah. Is it? Or is that Casey's character?
No, Casey's character is... No.
Oh.
Norfine.
That's the one. So we got Eleni.
I've met so many new people this week. The names are just flying around my head, so I went through like a Rolodex of which is the most non-human name in my brain right now. And Norfine was like the one.
Nice. Yeah. So we met Eleni. She just spawned from the sky. Was a companion of I was about to say Asterion. Finnan. Was a companion of Finnan.
Finnan, Asterion, same person, really.
Basically. Yeah. Found out about that. She joined the party, and then we met the Scholars of Esnari. My favorite lore reference moment, because I got it so quick and I was so happy with myself. It was fucking amazing.
Do you remember who you met from the college though?
Grog, not Grog. That's not his name. Grog is someone else.
Gorgug,
yeah. Grog is a completely different character.
Gorgug Thistle Spring, the greatest wizard of the age.
Grogug, yeah. Had some convos. They knew about some prophecies they were going to tell the king. Their prophecy was about the siblings as well, so it was the same. But we didn't get much information otherwise because they didn't want to tell us, basically.
They did tell you who the siblings were, or they gave you a prophecy about the siblings.
They did? Yes, they gave us they gave us a little prophecy about the siblings that hints that they're the Chaos Gods, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
Raven Queen included. Yeah. And that is the session. Dan rolled a natural 20 on religion and prayed to Elaz in the evening.
Yes.
And I woke up a god, Elaz, and I got a conversation. We talked about alcohol, mostly.
She is a patron of intoxication.
Yes. I leaked all of the bad things Orifeli did, and the fact that he was still awake and didn't want us to wake anyone else up because he wouldn't be able to run it. I don't know the aftermath of that because I haven't spoken to Elaz since, so couldn't tell you. So yeah, and Elaz gave me a boon, a boon which basically means I'm good at alcohol stuff. I find 10% more alcohol. I get 10% more money when selling alcohol. There was one more about 10%.
You can't get drunk off Dragon's Breath.
Yeah, I can't get drunk off Dragon's Breath. Doesn't knock me out or whatever. And there was one more.
I can't remember. It doesn't particularly matter.
Yeah, it's fine.
It was. I think you've hit the main three there.
Yeah. So got that boon. That was cool. And then we left for
the Goblin Camp, where you picked up the wonderful Norfine Casey, who joined us as a cleric.
Yes, a cleric.
Went into a Goblin Camp, and Casey and Norfine immediately paid off by healing you guys more times than the other cleric had done in the entire length of the campaign up to that point.
Yes.
In one combat.
Quick. We dealt with some goblins, some hobgoblins outside. We went into this house where we stayed for like a night to rest up and have some convos.
Chilled a bit. Had a good time.
Yes. We all talked, got to know Norfine, did some like in-character stuff. Tyr this is very big arc for Tyr because Norfine's been introduced and they're both believers in Tur, whatever you want to call it.
Tur, yeah.
Yeah, Tur. And which causes a problem for Tyr because stuff happened. We got some minor background information on Tyr, aka he's wearing House Kale's armor. Doesn't really help at all, but we know he's wearing House Chaos armor. Yeah. Got some background lore, spoke to people.
I gave you the opportunity to roll to find out why that was important, why it was relevant to House Kale, and I don't think any of you managed to pass that check.
I doubt it. But yeah, and we did some just role playing and some conversations. There was a smart book that was interesting. Yeah, we long rested. We woke up the next day and went to get the rest of the goblins. So we went down to the basement of the house to just check out the whole house the next day. And that was an entrance. There was a secret entrance to the goblins' lair.
Yes.
In which we found, we opened, Tyr snatched their leader, grappled it to the floor, and we beat the shit out of their leader.
Yeah.
Mercilessly.
Which I think, if you remember back to the Gabe episode, we did speak about.
Yes. Yeah, so beat the shit out of the leader, RKO'd him from top ropes with a shield, beat the shit out of him, killed the rest of the goblins, and looked around for some loot. Got another letter from Squishy, I think.
Yeah, pretty much saying the arrival was his mum coming.
Yes. And then we left the goblin camp. And that brings us to our most recent session, which was
arriving in the town of Bale.
Bale, yeah, the new town we're at for the new quest, which we haven't started yet. We're just in the town, having a look around.
You've not done too much. You've done some investigating.
Done some investigating. Tyr's going for a bit, which pains me because Dan doesn't know anything of it, and Dan can't help him. Oh well, I guess.
Well, I think we can talk about this another time. There was a major cliffhanger that we ended on, which I think you want to talk about.
Yeah, Tyr got a dog. Tyr came with a random creature thing.
So we ended this final session. Now, we're not going to play for a month or two, coming back after the break and everything. We're not going to play into the new year. We're recording this currently on the 15th of December. So I wanted to find a good, annoying cliffhanger to end it on for Alex.
Yeah. So Tyr has a monster pet thing that's there. And I have no idea why. And I'm not going to know for a month. So yeah.
So you said dog at first. I think dog is misleading. This is it's a black dog-like creature. It's got almost like a hyena mane going down the center of its neck. That's like purple. It's got swirling purple eyes. So it looks weird, is what it looks like.
Yes, it's a weird dog. Yeah, and that's the campaign. We're caught up.
We are
session. Yeah,
we've caught up fully. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's everything.
We have some. Yeah, we'll talk very briefly about our plans going forward with the podcast.
Yes, we can.
We've got some fun guests coming up.
Yep, fun guests
in the new year that we've booked tentatively. Hopefully they materialize. I'm very excited for some of them.
Yes. So good.
We will have
the new year.
We're going to be carrying on.
We'll have some repeat guests from previous episodes.
Oh yeah, we're going to have some repeat guests where we're going to focus fully on maybe some topics that you guys want us to cover, like how to make combat engaging, how to make this engaging, how to make that engaging, which we will really delve into. And really try to answer that question on like tips, strategies, things we employ to get that flowing nicely.
And then we will have obviously our normal episodes. Currently, right now, we won't be recording for like another month. But we have got all the episodes out until we need to record again. So you're fine. You'll get episodes.
We've pre-planned everything. We've done I would say so, a cracking job at recording episodes.
Yeah.
Our editor might disagree, as they are currently struggling to edit an episode right now.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
So, hi, editor. We're talking about you right now while you're struggling. We're having a great time. We're both sat here laughing.
Yeah,
and
I'm
you're
chilling.
sat there struggling.
Yeah. I don't know if we will play D&D before we record next. I'm not sure. Depends when we record.
I think it's likely a recording will happen before we play.
Yes. Yeah. I think that's about it.
Thank you for listening to us chat shit for the past couple of months.
Yeah. Basically, thank you. Yeah.
And we will continue to chat shit for as long as possible, really.
Yeah, basically. And then once we've finished Arc 1 with the ULADORE campaign, which won't happen for a while, every time we think about it, it's going to be longer.
It is.
We'll do my pirate campaign, which we'll talk about when it starts.
And we'll really try to do our best to sort of explain as we go along what happens in that, and not sort of, as someone said, it's like watching and adventuring a party without having watched the main campaign, which is an understandable bit of feedback there. We will definitely try and explain more and go into more detail.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, that's everything.
Yeah. Thank you very much for watching, and we will see you. For you guys next week. For us in the new year.
Yes. Goodbye, everybody. Yeah.
Bye.